Welcome back to Bald Talks, everyone. I'm your host, Felicia the BALD CHICK, and today we have a truly inspiring guest, Monica Williams. Monica is a dynamic speaker, life coach, author, and the visionary behind I Am That Monica. Welcome, Monica.
Thanks for having me.
It's an honor to have you. You've done so much empowering women globally, and you've even co-authored Baldness with Boldness, Unmasking Alopecia, Revealing Resilience. Let's dive right in. Monica, you have been open about your journey with alopecia. Can you share with us the moment you realized you were experiencing hair loss and what that initial experience was like?
Well, the moment I noticed my hair was thinning in a specific area around my right ear is when I started paying attention. It was an unusual type thinning in this area right here. N- I don't think that I, of course, was thinking alopecia. It was just a little thin spot. And I never experienced that before. So, and it wasn't small. It was fairly big on this side, but it was just thinning, not bald. Never did I think alopecia. That was not even a thought. I'm not sure I had any type of alarming thoughts that would make me want to do anything further about it, just to keep looking at it and pay attention to it. But what happened was I started getting a bald spot on the left side, slightly above my ear. Now, that was a bald spot, not thinning. It was a bald spot, like a dime size. And next thing I knew, right before my eyes, it was like quarter size. And it was completely bald. So now I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening here? Still not wanting to think, because I've heard of alopecia,
Yes.
but I'm like, Monica does not have alopecia. I did not
Yes.
want to think that, did not want to believe that, did not even want to speak it, right?
Not that Monica. Yep.
Not that Monica, not that Monica. Look, and I don't even think I am that Monica then, but I was not going to claim alopecia, right? Again, it was during the pandemic, so we all were just stressed, and just our level of anxiety was heightened. So it was a lot of things going on.
So
So
that
in
was,
my mind, it could have been, to me, it could have just been stress.
yeah.
And
So, so I'm sorry. But in a couple of years, this has been going on.
oh yes, oh yes. And it took me, I want to say, a little over a year before I actually went to get it checked. Because I just didn't want to believe it. And what I started doing was using like that was massaging the area and using like some hair growth oil. And so the spot where it was thinning started to fill back in, but the spot that was bald did not.
Really?
So what I started doing was I was like, I'll just get braids, you know, like that was the answer.
Yeah.
It really wasn't. But I was like, I'll just get braids. So the braids that I was getting, they were called faux locks. So they were very
Yes.
thin. We're
Yes.
talking about, it was very
Oh,
thin.
yeah.
It wasn't heavy. She braided my real hair and just put that into, my real
Oh,
hair.
yeah.
So it wasn't like it was starting from my scalp. So I'm thinking that I was safe. No, that probably wasn't the
Look, I'm
best.
shaking my head with you.
No,
Mm.
that wasn't the best thing, but of course, because I wasn't claiming alopecia,
Yes.
I just continued to get braids, and every time I would take the braids out, like more hair would come out, but I just continued getting the braids because I still had enough
Yeah.
hair to get braids,
To get
So
by.
it to get
Yeah.
by, yes. And
Yeah.
so, finding out that I did have alopecia, I did not want to hear that, because with most people, most women, I'll say, we love our hair. We can pretend it's only hair, but it wasn't only hair for me. You
Yes.
know, so the moment of finding out that I had alopecia, it was really, it was a defining moment for me. I did not like it. I did not want to believe it. I wanted to try everything I possibly could, you
Mhm.
know, because I just did not want to be, and not that I think I was going to be, but I didn't want to be a bald woman. I didn't understand what that really meant because,
Yeah.
again, I still had enough hair to
Yeah.
cover the spots. So you only knew I had bald spots if I showed you.
Mhm.
So what happened was when it started to spread in other areas, although again, I had enough hair to cover and then I was getting the braids, I started going on social media and exposing what I was experiencing. So I would take pictures, lift my hair up, take pictures of what was underneath. Like, this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm experiencing. At this time, Jada Pinkett had came out with her alopecia diagnosis, right? And so, I mean, Jada Pinkett is she's a star. So, like, I'm a regular person. There's people like me that's I'm sure that's are going through this, that's experiencing this, and I'm going to share what I'm going through, right? And when I did that, I had people come into my message me, inbox me, people that I didn't even know was dealing with alopecia. Now, I wasn't bald, I just had spots all over. I had people coming into my inbox with their wig off saying, I too suffer with alopecia, but I'm
Doesn't it
not
feel
ready.
great?
But they were like, I'm not ready. I'm not
Yeah.
as bold
Oh,
as
they're
you.
telling you,
They was,
oh,
yeah. But so they messaged me personally and
yeah.
showed pictures without, and I was like, oh my God. Like, there was something I would have never known about these particular, like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't have never known that you was dealing with alopecia. So
Mhm.
what it did was, even though I was upset, I started taking people on my journey, with the alopecia diagnosis. I just started taking people on my journey. And so when things would happen and I would see more spots, again, I'm not bald yet. I still have hair. I'm still getting braids. I just don't even want to say the word alopecia out loud. I'm still struggling, right?
Yes.
I don't want to claim this yet, but I know that I have it. But what I wasn't going to do was be a bald woman.
Mhm.
That's what I wasn't going to do. And
Yeah.
I had already made my mind up. I am not going to be bald until I was bald.
And see,
You
for
know.
me, it was more than, I think it was like 20, 15 years when I had like a quarter size
Hmm.
bald area. And my beautician at the time, Allison, which was one of my friends, shout out to Allison, she was like, you're missing some hair right here. Like, what? Girl, it's probably the perm,
Hmm.
Then
Hmm.
I started, and then I started seeing a little bit more. So I started putting glue, hair and glue, hair and glue. I'm like you, baby. I don't even know what this is, but I tell you what, I don't have whatever it is because back then we didn't talk about alopecia.
You didn't talk about that. Absolutely. Mm-mm.
And now it's just this, it's just spread and everybody. And what I love about reality, it shows you that you're beautiful regardless. You don't need that, you know.
And you have to get to that place.
You have to get to that
You
place.
have to
Sometimes
get to
you're pushed
that
into that
place.
place. Sometimes
Hmm.
you're pushed into that place. But when
Hmm.
that was with
Hmm.
me, I
Hmm.
it was just enough.
Hmm.
I couldn't hide it anymore.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
let's get on to the next question. In baldness with boldness, you and other women share your stories. What was the driving force behind creating this book? And what message were you hoping to convey?
So for me, contributing to this anthology, first of all, it was an honor, right? It was an honor for me to be a part of this anthology book. At this point, I was bald. I had decided to shave my head. So to be in a community with other bald women, it helped me
Yeah.
because if I had to go on this journey alone, I don't think that I would be embracing it like I am,
Yes.
So being in that community really helped me to embrace the boldness.
Yes.
Um, again, it was just being alongside those women. It was an experience, um, to be among so many beautiful women that were bald, just as I was, and embracing it and calling it their crown, and just,
Yes.
it was like glory for them. But
Mhm.
I'm not there yet. I wasn't there, right? And by sharing my journey, I was able to gain a deeper understanding of myself and accept my identity as a bald woman, even though I didn't want to, right? So I aim to provide a genuine and relatable account for women with similar experiences, acknowledging that their journey is not always easy. I wanted women to know that it's not always easy. So me being a part of that anthology was to share my experience that I'm not walking around here like this is my crown, this is my glory, I'm just loving it. I love being bald. That wasn't my story.
Mhm.
So I wanted to share and be transparent about where I was emotionally about it. And I knew that some woman would connect with that, even if it was one. I knew that somebody would connect with, you know what? Yeah, we got women that's embracing it. They just calling it their crown. They rubbing their heads and they just excited about it. But Monica's story is a bit different. You know, I can connect with Monica more, not saying that there wasn't a lot of women who could connect with all of the stories,
Yeah.
but there was at least one woman I felt like would connect to me saying, I don't enjoy being bald. I, I'm just embracing it because I'm choosing to. I don't want to, right? I didn't want to embrace it. I didn't want to be bald. I didn't want to be a part of the alopecia group, the community. I didn't. And I knew with me sharing that part of my story that it would connect with other women that was feeling exactly like I was, but maybe didn't have a voice to speak it because they felt like, they had to say, oh, this is my crown, this is my glory, I'm
Yes.
excited, I'm embracing it. Like some people feel like they have to say that,
Mhm.
but you don't. And I wanted to give them permission by sharing my story in the anthology book
Yeah.
that you don't have to be okay with that.
Yep.
We
In
learn
your
to be
own
okay with
time.
it. We
Yes. Yes.
grow to be okay with it. But guess what? You don't have to be. It's okay if you have your moments, your ups and your downs, or you have your moments of, I want to put on a wig today. Because trust me, I tried the wigs, but I was going through menopause
Oh,
and man, them wigs wasn't working. I wanted to take them wigs and just throw it. I'm telling you, it was hot. I was itchy. I was sweating. I'm like, this ain't gonna work for me. So then I tried. Then I tried the hats. I tried the scarves. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to find a scarf to match this outfit. It was work. It was more work than hair. I felt like this is a job. This is a part-time job. Trying to figure out, making sure the wig is right. Then I said, well, I look a little older with the wig. The wig was sometimes lopsided, trying to fix it, straighten it up. I said, I can't. I can't. So I was like, no more wigs. I had three of them. I said, no more wigs for me. So I stopped with the wigs. Then I started with the hats. Then I started with the scarves. But again, trying to make sure I got the right scarf on to go with the the outfit that I'm wearing. And it was just a lot of work. So in March 22nd, 2022, because I lost my eyebrows, right? And I decided in that moment. So I got um microblading
mhm.
because I lost my eyebrows, so I got microblading. I decided in that moment I didn't want to. The person that did my microblading, she said, "Girl, you almost just let me cut off because I was holding on to dear life." I had stopped getting braids in October of 2021. I took my braids out and I did not get braids anymore. I stopped getting braids. What I did was I had my son, Barbara, come to the house because I was not leaving out this house going to no barbershop where people can see me, right? So I had him come to the house, and what he did was he shaved my hair down. But I made sure I say, do not bald me. Just shave it down. But when he shaved it down, you can literally see the spots in my head. But I wasn't bald, right? I was holding on to dear life to that little bit of hair that I had left. And so when I went to get my microblading done, she said, you might as well just let me go ahead and shave that little bit of hair that you have on your head. Before I could say no, I was sitting in her barber chair, right? And all I can hear was,
Yeah.
mm, and I was just sitting there like, I wanted to cry.
Hmm.
I wanted to cry. And I said, I cannot, in my mind, like, I can't believe that I'm bald. And when she was done, I went and looked in the mirror and I saw cancer. And I said, this is why I didn't want to be bald, because I knew I would look sick. And I didn't want to be associated with looking like I'm just being honest with myself and
Yeah.
where I was and how I felt, right? And I had to quickly just turn those thoughts off. And I looked myself in the mirror and I said, you are beautiful. You are bald and beautiful. And that particular evening, I had a dinner date scheduled with a friend of mine's, right? And so when I left there, because I had my hat on when I got there. So
Yeah.
when I left there, I put that hat back on, right? Got to my car, drove on to the place where I was meeting my friend at for dinner. And I was getting out the car and I went and because I took my hat off when I got in the car. When I got out the car to go up to the restaurant, I grabbed the hat and I said to myself, don't put that hat on. So I threw the hat back, grabbed my shades, right? And I walked across that parking lot like I owned it. I wanted to forget, which I did in a moment, that I was bald until I opened up that door, walked up them steps, and was greeted by, the hostess. And I told her, I have someone here waiting for me. And I walked through that restaurant expecting and waiting for people to be staring at me, looking at me, whispering, see, pointing fingers. None of that happened. None of that happened. They were so busy worrying about eating their crab cakes and their shrimp and eating their meal. They weren't worried about my bald head. I was
Not at
worried about
all.
my bald head. I
Yeah.
was worried about my bald head. I was worried about what people were going to think and what they was going to feel, what they was going to be saying. It was me. And that was my first day out in public as a bald woman, March 22nd, 2022. And I have been showing up in the world, bald and bold and beautiful
Showing
ever
out.
since.
Showing out. Showing
Here,
up and showing out.
every since. Ever since that day. Now, if I put on a hat, it's because it's cold outside and I want my little bald head to be freezing.
There you
But
go.
other than that, nope, I show up and I show up bald and unapologetically me. Mhm.
So, how did your personal experience with alopecia influence your work as a life coach and speaker, particularly in empowering women?
So having alopecia has influenced me in many different ways. It really has. I've always been like a outspoken person, an encouraging, uplifting person. But having alopecia really it changes you. It changed me, I'll say,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? So you have to be a certain type of woman to show up in a world as a bald woman. You got to be a certain type of woman to do that, right? This has taken my confidence on another level, which helped me to empower others to be whatever they want to be and to do whatever they want to do. When you show up like this, it empowers you to empower others that, hey, if I can, you can. If I
Yeah.
can show up bald, you can show up with hair and do whatever it is that you want to do in this life, in this world. You can. If I can show up bald and do it, you can show up with hair and do it.
Yeah.
Right. So it empowered me to empower other women who were struggling with other things, not just being bald, not women just bald, but just struggling with other areas of their life. And I'm like, listen, sis, I show up every day in the world with a bald head. And when people look at women that's bald, they thinking one thing, she must got cancer. Oh, and they
Yeah.
give you that sympathy look, the
Yes.
empathy look, right?
Yes.
I'm like, if I can show up like this, You can start with all your hair and deal with all your issues,
Yeah.
right? You can do it. And so it gave me another level of confidence, to be able to just motivate, encourage, and inspire and let women know you can do whatever it is you want to do, however you want to do it. It is possible. So it definitely has lifted me up to be able to lift other people up, other women, from the places where they have fallen, from the places where they are. It has given me the power to do that. It really has. And again, am I sitting here saying, oh, I just love showing up? No, but because I am bald, because this is my new norm, my new reality, can we do something about it? Yes. Like you said, we can glue on some hair if we want. We can do whatever we want to
Mhm.
not be bald. But I'm choosing to use this, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And to empower, use it for my good, as
Yes.
opposed to
Use it
using
for
it for
good
my
in the
bad and
world.
talking about all the negative things
Yep.
associated with it. Let's talk about the good from it. Let's talk about the good about it. How can you use that to help lift other women up, whether they bald, whether they have a head full of hair? What can you do to empower other women now that you have taken on this whole new journey? And so that's what I do. I use it to uplift, empower, inspire, and motivate other women, whether you're bald or not.
Love
Challenge
that.
other women, you know.
Yes.
Mhm, mhm.
So many women struggle with self-image and confidence after experiencing the hair loss. What advice do you have for them in reclaiming their power and embracing their beauty?
So listen, I love looking cute, right?
Mm.
And so do most women. We love looking cute. And part of looking cute for most of us was our hair,
Mhm.
how we styled it. Some of us, we love ponytails, we love pulling it back, we love coloring it different, having
Yep.
different colors in our hair. We just love doing things with our hair. So women who don't have hair, this is what I tell women. Our inner light is what makes us beautiful because of who we are at our core. Okay? That's our beauty. We are beautiful because we continue to push through difficult times and came out stronger. We are beautiful because we unapologetically show up as ourselves, bald and bold. Beauty is our name, not because of our physical characteristics like short hair, long hair, straight or natural hair. Beauty is our name because of our genuine character and the positive impact we have on the world. Beauty is our name because we are visionary leaders and bosses who inspire and motivate others. Beauty is our name because we didn't let fear hold us back and we continue to move forward. Beauty is our name because our tenacity and determination, because of our tenacity and determination, is why we are beautiful. It's not the hair. This is what makes us beautiful.
Mhm.
Okay? Beauty is our name because we learned from our mistakes and got back up from a fall. Beauty is our name because even when we failed, we still emerged triumphant, right? So when you think that you are beautiful because of your hair, let's dismantle that.
Mhm.
Let's do away with that because beauty hair does not define you. That doesn't define your beauty. The things that I name, the the attributes that come from you, come through you, come out of you. That's what makes you beautiful. Being good to people is what make you beautiful, right? Loving people, being kind to people is what
Yes.
make you beautiful. Not giving up when you could have is what makes you beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful. Times when we have fallen into dark places and got back up. That's what makes us beautiful. Times when we have lost a battle, but we won anyway. That's what makes us beautiful. So when you find beauty in other things and other situations, you say, wait a minute, I'm beautiful in spite of, because the hair is not what defines you.
Now, are you
It's
preaching on
what
this
comes
Sunday?
from you. Am I no, but you hear me, sis? Like that's what it is. I know I did for many years of my life. Many years of my life. My hair was my defining
Yeah.
feature.
Yeah.
Okay. Like
Yeah.
my hair, I mean, I had long hair, right? And my red popping lipstick, you couldn't tell me I wasn't what they say, all that in a bag of chips.
Huh.
But I allowed my hair to make me feel that way.
Yeah.
So without it, I had to find other ways to make me feel beautiful, to let me know I was beautiful. And it wasn't because my hair, not just that, I get to see all of me. I get to see all of me, all of my defining features. Everything matter. My ears matter. My jawline matters. Things that you never paid attention to
Mhm.
matters now.
Yeah.
And you're grateful and you're thankful for those things. Your cheekbones, the way your eyes look, the shape of your nose, your lips. See, you are paying attention to more things that matter, that makes up who you are, other than your hair.
I love that.
So that's the encouragement that I can
Yes.
give.
And I love it. So, what are some of the biggest misconceptions about alopecia that you've encountered, and how do you work to dispel them?
So one of the things that I assumed about alopecia was that it just affected the scalp. That's a misconception,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So that's all I was thinking that it was going to affect until it started till it took my eyebrows, till it took my eyelashes, till it took my. Now I ain't mad. Look, some things you ain't mad about, right?
Oh,
My armpit. Look, I wasn't mad. No, I wasn't mad when I ain't had no. I was like, well, okay, I ain't gotta do no more shaving,
add
right?
things.
And it must be this may be too much information, but my private area, bald, completely, nothing. Those are the areas you're like, okay, alopecia, do your thing, right?
Okay.
But I
You,
ain't
you
want
that
alopecia to
girl.
take my
Thank you.
right. Do your thing, alopecia, right down there, right here. But I did not want alopecia to take my eyebrows.
Yeah.
I didn't want alopecia to take my eyelashes. I didn't want that. I loved my eyebrows, the shape. I loved getting them wet. I loved how my eyelashes popped. So I had another layer of being hurt and being angry and being upset over that thief that came in and robbed me and took something from me that I did not give it permission to take. Oh, you took my hair. That wasn't enough. Now you want my eyebrows. Now you want my eyelashes. Now you want my armpit hair. You can have that. Now you want my private. You can have. I didn't. When somebody come and take it, I was okay with it being gone,
Yeah.
but I didn't give you permission to take it. I felt violated all over again. Don't get me started.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
We only have
Get
40
me
minutes.
started. I know. Oh my gosh.
So, so what is next for Monica Williams? What are the next steps for your brand and your personal journey?
So, what is next for me is I am committed to continuing my journey of sharing my story with women who have experienced childhood trauma,
Mhm.
molestation, rejection, low self esteem, life struggles, toxic relationships, and more. I am committed to that. I really am. I am driven to be a catalyst for change, to empower women to just continue sharing their stories and writing their books because we all have a book. We have a story inside of us, and it is time. We've been pregnant with the book. That book is overdue. It is time for us to push it out. The water has already broken, and you still got the baby in you, right? It's time to deliver
Yep.
what's inside of you. So I am committed to aspiring to be, first of all, a household name, leaving a lasting legacy of hope and resilience and love that will inspire future generations. Because guess what? I am the face of change and the voice of power. That's who I am. I'm the face of change because I've come through. This face don't look like what I've been through.
Okay.
This face don't look like the challenges that I'm faced with having alopecia, right? This face don't look like that. And this voice that that I have today, it was silent for years. And now you can't shut me up. You can't silence me anymore. I speak loud and I speak bold and I speak with conviction, not just for me, but for you and for other women out there that doesn't feel like they have a voice to speak up for themselves, to defend themselves, to say it out loud. So they live it silently. So I'm the voice for you and for me and so many other women.
So quickly, let the audience know how they can reach you.
Mhm.
Um, and I want to thank you for the words, your 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 speech on this Sunday, Good Sunday. But let them know where they can reach you.
I can be reached on my website. Number one is IamThatMonica.com. You can reach me
Yes.
on my website there. You can reach me on my email info@ IamThatMonica.com. You can also go on Facebook and find me there. I have a page, a women's page, where I just inspire, motivate, and encourage and uplift women in this community to be their best selves. And it is called I Am That Monica. And there you would be able to find which Monica are you, because I share a
Okay.
lot there. Okay. Which
Okay.
Monica are you? Because trust me, there's plenty of Monicas out there. You can also reach me on Instagram under I Am That Monica as well. So those are ways that you can find me and reach out to me.
Well, I
And
thank
I'm
you.
waiting to hear from you.
Yes, ma'am. And I thank you for being a guest on Ball Talks. To all our viewers, thank you for joining us on Ball Talks. Remember, like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more empowering stories. And remember, if life gives you lemons, shave your
Mm.
head and become a statement. Thank
I
you,
love it.
Monica.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.